What is up, and welcome to the Talking Smack Show, recapping WrestleMania 41, Night 1. Woo! What was Paul Heyman going to do? And is Charlotte Flair really still the queen of WWE? Man, I fucking loved last night. It was so damn good. So welcome to the Talking Smack Show, sponsored by Foundations Health Coaching, helping you get a little bit healthier step at a time. So, I mean, first of all, the internet rather, was worried that WrestleMania was not going to be a sellout. And it was, even though it had those ridiculously high prices. I think people just want to get on wrestling's back, on WWE's back with loads of things. But, I mean, like, it's the biggest show in the world, right? WrestleMania. And it was really good to see it so full again. We started off with Triple H kicking things off. The entrance stage was really cool, I thought, as well. And then we jumped right into Jey Uso versus Gunther. Jey Uso's entrance, pretty cool again. So he had flag wavers and then he some cheerleaders, but he just came through the crowd, so wasn't really involved with any of the theatrics going on. But it was good to see, and even with a crowd that big, he was like, you could still see how over he was. And Gunther strolled down to the ring wearing his menacing coat, and so the match was really fun, really physical. Jey Uso hung in there throughout it, I thought. They were both just landing everything. Once again, Gunther's chops just decimated Jay's chest, to be honest. He was bleeding quite a bit out of it. At one point, Cole gave this brilliant line where he said, Gunther is redefining brutality. Man, if that doesn't hit home, nothing will. At one point, Gunther hit Jay in the face with the belt and then landed a splash, but it still wasn't enough to get the pin. Jay hit a powerbomb, a spear, 3 splashes, and then locked in the sleeper. And my big problem was Gunther tapped very, very quickly. Like, Gunther's meant to be a tough dude, right? And he, within like 5 seconds, he tapped out to the sleeper, which was a bit disappointing for me, but really good, really satisfying first match. And then Jimmy Uso came down to celebrate with Jay, which was nice. And I really thought like Jay really deserved this. Like, he's been a stalwart in the WWE for forever. Like, pre-NXT, he was in Florida Championship Wrestling, and he's just worked, and he really was a key part of the Bloodline story as well. So it's really nice to see him get his with this, to be honest. And also, it's just really nice. I hope Jimmy gets something similar at some point. Again, another guy who's really deserving. But Jay has just got so over. It had to happen. So what's going to be next for Jey Uso? I'll share what my prediction is with him later on. Next, we had New Day versus War Raiders, or as Pat McAfee says, Raw is War Raiders. It was a really good match. Ivar did his moonsault or doomsault, but it looked rough. Like, he was very fortunate not to land on his neck, I thought. I feel like everyone is doing moonsaults and spears now. I would like us to cut that down. I think Braun Breaker can keep the spear, but really just him and Roman Reigns can do spears. And I would like Tiffany, Stratton, and Jacob Fatu to do moonsaults, and that's it. No one else is allowed, in my opinion. So if we could make that official, I would appreciate it. I mean, like, look, there's so many moves around, right? Mix it up a little bit, you know what I mean? So Xavier Woods did that, I can't remember what it's called, the double team where Kofi holds down the person and Xavier Woods jumps off the top rope, landing on their chest with his feet. And then Kofi was outside and held down Ivar's leg as Xavier Woods pinned him. Obviously, really good for New Day. Like, they've really shone in this heel role, which has been a nice change to see for them, and just so established. So it was a really good match, but I felt like War Raiders just don't have that sort of star name to them to be able to be like in a standard tag match at WrestleMania. It just didn't feel very special. Like, if that match was on Raw, you'd have been like, yeah, fair enough. I think a TLC triple threat between Motor City Machine Guns, DIY, and Street Profits would be a far better WrestleMania match. As it's not that New Day shouldn't be on WrestleMania, they absolutely should, but the match didn't feel as special as it perhaps should at WrestleMania, in my opinion. Next, we had Jade, Cargill, and Naomi, and honestly, this match was shit. It was awful. Like, the build's been not great anyway, but Jade, I've been really high on Jade Cargill, but she is bad. Like, this was rough. Naomi had to keep waiting for her for so many spots. And like, Jade Cargill's moves look cool, but there's no fluidity to them whatsoever. I thought it was really, really poor. My friend really enjoyed it, but I just thought, oh, it was hideous. Like, it was slow, and not in like a dramatic, tense slow. It was just, they had no chemistry, and I thought it was awful. It was easily the worst match of the night by miles and miles. And it's made me think, like, Jade Cargill, from all accounts, she's a dick as well, like backstage, and she doesn't sell moves and stuff. But if her wrestling is shit and her personality is awful and she's not professional, get that bitch out. Fucking hell. Oh, it was dreadful. I mean, maybe it's just those two don't have awful chemistry. But Naomi, like, for all her, like, I'm not a Naomi fan, but she's smooth in the ring normally. Like, that was disgusting. Maybe Cargill will be better with other opponents, but it was just dreadful, in my opinion. I thought it was a terrible, terrible match. But Cargill won. She squashed Naomi. It was too long and too bad. Then we had Jacob Fatu versus LA Knight. So Jacob Fatu came out, all gas, no brakes, as you'd expect, wearing a fucking werewolf mask. It was crazy. It was so funny. It didn't look great, but I loved it. So he came out with Solo Sikoa, but Solo just sort of like came out with him and then walked off and left him. That was how it was. Like, Jacob Fatu went out on his own. Then LA Knight showed up in a Maserati. It was great. I really enjoyed this match. I thought it was very, very good. I mean, like, I'm as big a fan of Jacob Fatu as anyone, I think. But LA Knight really shone in this match as well. It was like nice, physical, quite technical. Everyone hitting the big moves. I thoroughly enjoyed it. At one point, Jacob Fatu was on the top rope, facing away, and LA Knight did a belly-to-back suplex off the turnbuckle. But Fatu kicked out, but it looked perfect. Fatu was just relentless. Like, he just took beat down after beat down and still got up and wanted more. Fatu is getting really over with the crowd, considering he was without a doubt the bad guy in the story. The crowd fucking loved him. At one point, he delivered those hip drives, which he makes look just so damn nasty, so rough, and then did a swanton off the top rope, but it wasn't enough. Then Fatu went for his moonsault, but LA Knight turned it into the Blood Force Trauma, which looked sick. In the end, Fatu landed 2 moonsaults for the ropes, for the win, sorry. And then Haku came down to celebrate with him as well, which was cool. And I really think, like, I already thought Fatu was a star, but Fatu is, I I think Fatu may win the Royal Rumble next year. I think Fatu will definitely be in the... Either he will have held a world title or he'll be challenging for the world title by WrestleMania next year. I think Fatu is the next big deal in wrestling. He is all gas, no brakes. And he is a bad man in real life. Like, his grin is just menacing when he looks at the camera. It is crazy. I fucking love Jacob Fatu. Moving on, I imagine we're going to get sort of jealousy from Solo Sikoa, and that will be his next real rivalry. What that means for Tama Tonga, I don't know. I think Tama Tonga would be a really good like manager for Jacob Fatu, because Jacob Fatu is sick, but he's such a bad man, whereas Tama could add that little bit of hilarity, help him cheat sometimes. But Jacob Fatu is all gas, no brakes. So next up, we had El Grande Americano versus Rey Fenix, because Rey Mysterio was ruled out with injury, which was a massive shame for Rey Mysterio. Obviously, like, I think he's 50 now. He's only got so many WrestleManias left. It was also announced during the show that officially WWE has bought AAA, which is like a Mexican wrestling production. We had Vikingo in the crowd watching as well. Before the match, El Grande Americano had another promo video, and it was hilarious. It was dubbed over with like Mexican voice actor speaking while he was interviewed. They spoke about how, although he is from the Gulf of America, he's technically from the Gulf of Mexico, because it was called the Gulf of Mexico before he was born, and it was just hilarious. And then Rey Fenix came down. Why Rey Fenix wears a Rey Fenix mask, and then he takes off the Rey Fenix mask to reveal another Rey Fenix mask. It warps my mind a little bit, but I enjoy it. The match was really fun, as you'd expect. At the start, El Grande was mouthing off to Vikingo, who kicked him in the face before the match began. And then it was just very entertaining, as you'd imagine, between two very athletic people. El Grande did something like a backwards tucked 450 splash onto Rey Fenix, which was pretty crazy, and then tried removing his mask but didn't manage. He then put the metal plate inside his mask. Rey Fenix went for the Goodbye Amigo. Well, no, delivered the Goodbye Amigo, where he runs across the rope and then kicks him in the face. However, this injured his foot. And then El Grande went for a very Chad Gable-like ankle lock, and then headbutted Rey Fenix, and then did the diving headbutt off of the top rope with that metal plate for the win. So moving, and then they announced that there's going to be a pay-per-view later this year. I can't remember when exactly, but it's going to be I think it's called Colliding Paths or Crossworlds or something like that, where it's going to be WWE and AAA fighting each other. So I think that's probably going to be where we see finally who is El Grande Americano. And then next up we had a fantastic match: Charlotte Flair versus Tiffany Stratton. Tiffy's entrance was really cool. So she was in a Barbie box, and then on the screens there were different Tiffys as different Barbies as well. It was really cool. And when she was coming out, I was just thinking, like, man, Tiffy would have looked great with that Divas title. Like, she's just perfect. I love her. She is, even before. So for the last year, I've been really, really high on Tiffy. She's just had that star quality right from the beginning. And then Charlotte arrived in a Rolls Royce and came out. And what I think is really cool, I don't think it's just because they're the same. I think it's been deliberate, but they've kept having their outfits be very similar. So Tiffany's was like bejeweled pink, and Charlotte's was sort of like bejeweled purple. And it's just sort of showing like that Tiffany is the next Charlotte. Like, she is the next evolution, the next heir to the throne, if you will. The match was brutal, like physical. Like Charlotte was going out of her way to knock the shit out of Tiffy. At one point, she threw her face first, rough into the turnbuckle. She was chopping the shit out of her. Tiffy had a bruise up there. I'll talk about the end of the match in a moment, actually. But it was fabulous. I thought it was fantastic. In my opinion, Charlotte is the best to ever do it for the women, like by miles and miles. Like, out of this world, miles ahead of Becky for me, light years ahead of Trish. Like, Lita doesn't come close. She's the best ever by miles and miles. And I believe in 15 years' time, it will be Charlotte and Tiffy at the top of the pedestal. Like, those two are the legacy of women's wrestling, in my opinion. Tiffy is fabulous. Like, she scraps like an old pro. The experienced ladies, they have this ability to just sort of grind through, really sell the pain, sell the hurt, give the blows. And the inexperienced people, in my opinion, just don't do that, certainly on the women. Whereas Tiffy has it all. She is athletic as fuck. She looks fantastic, but she is one gritty bitch. She delivered a fantastic, like, I think they called it a pop-up spine buster. It was a beautiful move. I really enjoyed it. Charlotte, she kept going for Charlotte's knee. At one point, Charlotte was on top rope. Tiffy knocked her down and just pounced on her knee, which was a continuing story throughout the match, which again is like a real veteran bit of storytelling between Charlotte and Tiffy. And then Charlotte got in the figure of 4, but she couldn't raise up for the figure of 8, like that bridge. And then Tiffy started pounding at her knee. In the end, Tiffy delivered her beautiful pop-up, prettiest moonsault in the world for the win. When she held up the belt, she's missing half a tooth. Like, she got beat the shit out of in this match, but she didn't bat an eyelid. At one point, she rolled out to compose herself, but she did it in a way not like she was hiding. Like, it just worked for the match. And then I think that image of Tiffy holding her belt up and missing a tooth is going to be one of the iconic WrestleMania images in the future. Just brilliant. Up to that point, it was by far and away the best match of the night. It's for me, it was as good a women's wrestling match as I've seen. Like, as physical, as good storytelling as the sort of 4 horsewomen type matches. It was fantastic. It had everything. I loved it. I truly loved it. Now, what comes next for these women? I think we're probably going to have, hopefully, a bit of a shake-up of the rosters on Raw and SmackDown moving forwards. So I think maybe Bianca Belair is not going to win the belt and possibly challenge Tiffy moving forwards. And I think Charlotte Flair is going to be in a storyline, maybe with Jade Cargill next. But I don't know. I can't imagine that working. Like, because they faced off before already and sort of hinted at that coming, but I can't see it really. I can't really see that working. I mean, obviously, Rhea or Io or Belair are going to be champions, and maybe Charlotte goes for that, but I don't think you get to go from one belt and then jump ship and go for the next belt. We've got Alexa Bliss coming back at some point again, hopefully. Becky Lynch, although apparently Bayley has been ruled out of her match, and now we've got a mystery person tagging with Lyra Valkyria, which I think will probably be Becky Lynch. So I don't think that storyline would work. I don't know. So then, last but not least, we had the triple threat: Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins versus CM Punk. This was incredible. I loved it. It was... I don't know. I mean, obviously, like we all suffer from proximity bias, where like this is the most recent thing I've come across, but it was as good a wrestling match as I think I've ever seen. The storytelling in it, the physicality of it, the spots, the intertwining, it was just unreal. So Seth Rollins came out first. When it went, burn it down, he had a fucking flamethrower. And then it went dark. And then he was dressed in like a black flame retardant outfit. And then it went dark. And then he appeared in white. And his sunglasses, I think they were meant to resemble a thorn of crowns. A crown of thorns, sorry. I hope not, but I think he was really, really leaning into his Messiah title with these glasses. Then we had Roman Reigns coming out to the ring on his own, and it was just pretty much his standard entrance. But that guy, I know I say it every time, the aura of this man, he looked incredible. Like, I mean, I'm heterosexual, but I would call him my tribal chief any day. And he just looks incredible. And as he was walking down, they had these sort of like placards. I think they were graphics, but they were all the different members of the Anoa family. It was fabulous. Like, he just looks so imposing and just incredible. I loved it. And then CM Punk's entrance, he had Ocean Colour Scene singing his song with him, and he was just grinning ear to ear. He's earned this main event, no doubt, and it was beautiful match, so good. He came down with Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman was dancing with Ocean Colour Scene. It was magnificent. So then, as the match kicked off, the three men were looking at each other. Then CM Punk rolled out of the ring and hung out with Paul Heyman. And then Seth Rollins tried to persuade Roman Reigns that they should gang up on CM Punk. And Roman Reigns slapped the shit out of Seth Rollins. And then all hell broke loose, frankly. It was just insane. Roman Reigns delivered that drive-by dropkick, which still looks as fresh as his trainers. That was fucking sick. Then Rollins and Punk ended up fighting in the crowd. They were using trash cans, steel chairs. The trash cans actually had rubbish in them, which was a nice touch. And then as they got closer to the ring, Roman Reigns dove over the barrier and took both of them out and about 40 fans with him. It was insane. It was the maddest match. Roman Reigns went for a spear at one point. Seth Rollins jumped up and did a flying pedigree on Roman Reigns, and then delivered the stomp. And then he pushed CM Punk out of the ring. Roman Reigns kicked out of it. Seth Rollins went for the Phoenix Splash. He is never going to land that move again, I don't think. He didn't that time, sure as shit. Then Rollins persuaded Reigns that they needed to go for the cancer that is CM Punk and take him out. So Reigns agreed, told Rollins to pick CM Punk up to deliver a powerbomb through the table. As Rollins held CM Punk, Roman Reigns slapped the shit out of Rollins again, and then on his own powerbombed CM Punk through the table, then grabbed Seth Rollins and powerbombed him through the other table. These were not those reinforced tables. And then he rolled Seth Rollins into the ring and delivered the spear. How the fuck Seth Rollins kicked out of that, I do not know. Reigns couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Oh my God, it was amazing. This match was incredible. Reigns then choked out CM Punk, staring at Paul Heyman. Punk then countered and rolled up CM Punk. CM Punk countered, rolled up Roman Reigns. Reigns kicked out, and then CM Punk delivered the Anaconda Vice. Then Seth Rollins appeared and put CM Punk in a sharpshooter. Then Roman Reigns choked out Seth Rollins again. but Seth Rollins managed to suplex Roman Reigns whilst in the choke, but Roman Reigns didn't break the choke and carried on choking Seth Rollins. It was nuts. Then Punk stomped on Reigns, then hit the go to sleep on Rollins, but Rollins kicked out. It was crazy. Then Punk delivered the go to sleep to Rollins. Reigns delivered the spear to Punk. Rollins delivered the stomp to Reigns. Everyone was on the floor passed out in the ring. Then Paul Heyman went and got a chair. CM Punk was trying to call Heyman over with the chair. Roman Reigns was trying to call Heyman over with the chair. Heyman shook his head at Roman Reigns, gave the chair to CM Punk, got in the ring, told CM Punk to hit Roman Reigns with the chair. As CM Punk lifted the chair up, he low-blowed CM Punk, then delivered the chair to Roman Reigns, acknowledging his tribal chief. Roman Reigns beat the shit out of CM Punk with the chair. And then Heyman said, "Look, my tribal chief," at Seth Rollins, presented him, Seth Rollins, as Roman Reigns lifted the chair up to strike Seth Rollins. Another fucking low blow on Roman Reigns. My God. Then Heyman gave the chair to Seth Rollins. Rollins struck Roman Reigns with the chair, delivered the stomp, and got the 1, 2, 3. As Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman left the ring, Paul Heyman was sneering away. Oh my fucking God. That match was incredible. I'm pumped just thinking about it now. What happens next? I don't even know. I think we're going to have probably Roman Reigns go on a little break again. Obviously, he's still got leukemia. Like, he is a tough dude doing what he does. But also from a story standpoint, it makes sense that he's going to go away, reevaluate, gather himself. I don't know what happens with CM Punk. Obviously, he's going to be hurt by Paul Heyman. But I hope that they put CM Punk onto SmackDown. I think Seth Rollins, as a heel, should then go for Jey Uso for his title. CM Punk, maybe, if John Cena wins, maybe CM Punk could challenge John Cena next. I don't know. But, I'm so fucking excited. It was brilliant. Like, there were 4 matches that were just fantastic. I thought Jey Uso versus Gunther was brilliant. Jacob Fatu versus LA Knight. Like, this is the start of a Jacob Fatu legacy. The women's title, Charlotte Flair versus Tiffany Stratton, was magnificent. And then this triple threat. I am buzzing for tonight now. I think I'm going to try and stay up for it. Will I manage? Probably not, but I'll be doing a prediction later for that show. I cannot wait. Until next time, keep it going. All gas and no brakes. Arrgh!